Hello and good afternoon everybody, and welcome back once again for another video of DIY investing. With yesterday's bearish Bitcoin outcome now covered, and you guys now know kind of what I'm rocking with Bitcoin moving forward, I decided today would be a great opportunity for me to dive in and share with you guys 3 altcoins that were recommended to me by members inside of my Discord server, and these are also 3 altcoins that I have active positions in moving forward. I think that with this next altcoin market cycle, there's a lot of profit potential moving forward, and the people that are getting in at this point of time are the ones that are going to make life-changing profits. If you're new and just finding this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content like the one provided for you here. I'm trying to get to my first goal of 1,000 subscribers, and it's been growing very quickly, so I would expect that we could eclipse that number over the next couple months. So keep doing what you're doing, and thank you guys so much for all the support. We also have a really exciting up-and-coming Discord community that I would love to have you guys a part of. If you want to find signals or you want to share analysis of your own and even follow analysis that I might post inside in my own private Discord, make sure you click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get full access to my Discord server. Currently we have just over 200 members, about 230 to be exact, so let's get this number up to 500 and hit my next goal. It would really mean a lot to me. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Without further ado, let's jump right in the video today. Alright guys, so here we are first by taking a look at Bitcoin. It's always important to start off the video with a Bitcoin update. We don't need to go into a whole lot of detail because I've already covered most of the details in the last couple updates. But we're going to dive in today and show you guys kind of what I'm looking with current price action. Now, as you guys remember from my last update, we were selling back down into this box, and I said that it was potential for lower downside still to come. And that's actually kind of what I'm seeing currently still. And I'm actually going to change this box and move it a little bit lower because I feel as if this is the next major support area to get hit. Now, out of this support area, I would absolutely love it to see us hold support right here. If we can hold support above this green box, then I think that sets us up for more bearish continuation. However, if we start to retrace back below this box and get rejected and start to fall back inside of this trend line, I'm going to have to rethink my strategy moving forward, and I will give you guys an update as follows. But as of right now, things are looking pretty good. We still had our sizable breakout of descending resistance. We're retracing back down. We hit on my first box and we bounced off of it with about 7%, but then we rejected back down, so that made me rethink my strategy, which gives me a next target down here at about 84.50 down to about 82.50, somewhere right around there. I think that we could see a sizable bounce, and then I would like that to be the bottom of our correction. This little correctional phase that we're seeing after the breakout of descending resistance, I would like it to see us hold support right around there, because if we can't, then that's going to make me rethink my trading plan and lean to me with my bearish scenario moving forward. Because as of right now, guys, I'm still bullish. I told you guys that as long as we broke out of this descending resistance, I was going to be bullish, and we did so with this move. And so unless we start to break back down within this descending resistance, then I'm going to continue to hold that belief, and I'm not going to change my trading plan until that happens. So this is what I'm rocking with. You guys know kind of what I'm doing and what I'm watching for inside of Bitcoin. Now let's actually dive into the nitty-gritty part of this video. Let's dive in and show you guys my 3 favorite altcoins. These altcoins, remember, were recommended to me inside of my Discord, so if you're somebody that wants coins to be charted and analyzed, make sure you comment either in this video, hit me up on Discord, or get a hold of me one of those 2 ways, and that's how I'm going to be able to cover further technical analysis that you guys want done. So today, let's first dive in by taking a look at Tezos. Alright guys, now here we are taking a look at Tezos on the dollar. Now Tezos had some very interesting price action happen over the last couple weeks, and that is we had a very massive impulse that was about 100% move from top to bottom. And with that came a massive volume breakout. More volume than we've seen previously in the entire cycle. And so that's a very exciting thing to see happening inside of the market structure for Tezos. Now, what kind of happened was after this initial pump, or what I should say, before this pump, right about here, about 85 cents, Coinbase announced staking rewards for holding Tezos, so you can earn about 5% interest a year off of just by staking your Tezos. I don't know exactly how it works because I haven't looked into it significantly since it's happened, but I think that that's going to be a very bullish outcome moving forward. I mean, the cool thing about that, guys, is the fact that if you stake your Tezos tokens, you can earn 5% return off of those Tezos. And so you could be earning Tezos back by staking it for a year, And by the end of that year, that 5% could be worth significantly more just because of the fact that Tezos went up in value so much. And so I think that that's going to be a really big catalyst to make a lot of money moving forward in this next cycle. And it's one that you guys should probably watch out for. But as of right now, kind of what I'm seeing with Tezos is we have this descending resistance. We've bounced off of it and rejected 3 different times, this most recent one being the 3rd, and now we're kind of selling off from that. So this could be a correctional wave up into resistance, or we could be starting an impulse. Either way, I would like to see us hold support. Let's see, let's dive in a shorter time frame. I want to see how we react to this level right here. Let's make this green. I would like to see how we react to this level here at about $1.11. That's about roughly where my first entry was with Tezos. My entry was $1.11, but I would like to see us how we hold support here. Now, if we come back down to my initial entry, I may look to add more, but I want to see a good reaction coming from this support level, because with this rejecting off of a descending resistance, this could very easily drop back down to this lower support level once again. So this is kind of what I'm watching out for, but I did love to see this big green buy volume come in here. I was happy that I accumulated a little bit back here, and I was in a short-term profit. Not in much profit because we have retraced from there, but that was also my long-term portfolio. So any positions that I've taken in Tezos in the time being, these are all my long-term holds that I'm going to be holding for at least a year time. And I'm not really going to be worried about all the choppy action in between. Really, I'm in accumulation mode, and I'm going to look to continue to add to my positions. The more that we stay down below these critical support, or the more that we stay down at these critical low levels. And so this is kind of what I'm watching out for with Tezos. Now, with that being said, guys, let's take a look and see kind of what we can see here. Now, let's remove all drawing tools. During the next leg up, I am expecting a very sizable impulse. Now, realistically, guys, I think that you could take I think that a good place to take profits would be about here at about $4, and then up here at about $5.06. And then you could go even a little bit higher, maybe like $7.50. That's just realistic, the next resistance level. But this is kind of the place that I would look to take short-term profits. Now remember, guys, I already told you that I'm holding for over a year. So if this isn't within a year's time frame, or I haven't been holding at least a year, I'm not going to be taking profits if we hit these levels. Because to be honest, guys, I'm expecting a bull run that makes this little market cycle look like a little blip on the grand scheme of things. I think it's very reasonable that Tezos could hit $100 in this next cycle, especially with the fundamental perspective moving behind the Tezos blockchain. I think that it's a really good project moving forward. So that's why I put a little bit more trust. I'm willing to hold this one a little bit longer than most other cryptos. And so for that, these are my long-term investments. But if I was somebody that was day trading this or just looking to position trade, which I generally do, I would be taking my first profits here at about $4, my next profits here at about $5, and then I just kind of let the rest ride out there. Now, if we did actually impulse all the way up here about $7.50, I would take profits there as well. But that's just for a day trading perspective. Now, realistically, guys, I'm holding this for over a year because I do believe in the fundamental use case behind this. But with that being said, if you're somebody that's day trading this, I think that this next impulse is going to get very big because of the fact this is just a one wave based off of Elliott wave theory. So realistically, I think the 3-wave has a good chance of hitting this $5 mark. And then we could go much higher before we stop and really finish out this entire one wave. And so this is kind of what I'm watching out for with Tezos. Overall, things are looking very bullish with this coin and this project. I'm thankful that I bought a little bit back in the day. And I will be looking to add to my positions moving forward. And I'll update you guys if I do. So this is Tezos. Next, let's actually dive into XRP. All right, guys, here we are with XRP. Now, XRP has been one of my favorite coins for a significant amount of time now, just because of the fact this is one of the older coins. It's stayed in the top 10 market cap for the last 6 years, and it's showing no signs of really giving back that dominance to anything else. And so for that reason, I'm extremely bullish on this. Now, let's actually dive in and kind of show you guys what I'm watching for. Let's remove this monthly resistance here. Now, this is the fractal that I've been pointing out to you guys for a while now. This is the fractal that I've been watching because I do expect it to play out very similarly to the last cycle that we had when I first got into cryptocurrency. Now, I first got into cryptocurrency would have been right about here back in April of 2016. And I really was here for the significance of the bull market. I jumped in right at the right time, happened to get a few different entries on some good projects, and made a lot of money in this initial wave up. But with that being said, guys, I'm seeing such a key correlation between the last cycle and the one that we're having right now that leads me to believe that this thing has a lot of profit potential moving forward. Now, kind of what I saw with the last cycle and a pattern that I've been noticing is we had our first little market cycle. I'm not going to count this one right here, so just don't even worry about that. We had our first little impulse, and then we started our bear cycle. Now, this bear cycle had this descending resistance that held us, multiple reactions and multiple rejections off of this resistance before finally we ended up getting a massive breakout of this resistance, right here. This is where price breaks out of this descending resistance that we rejected off of once, twice, 3, 4, 5 different times. We finally broke out of that, and what we want to see with a nice breakout is a massive volume increase, and that's exactly what we saw. The volume that came out of this breakout was far bigger than any of the volume that we saw at the cycle high and previously up to that point. And so that's a key indication that the trend is reversed. You want to see good volume. If you don't see good volume, chances are it's not going to play out because volume precedes price. And then what we saw after that was after the breakout, we rejected for one more wave back down. This was our last sell-off before this created really the spring-loaded effect that bounced us into new price discovery. Now, this is interesting to me, guys, because this cycle is following the last cycle almost identically. We can see that we had the cycle high here. We started retracing in the bear cycle. The bear cycle had this descending resistance that held us throughout the majority of that cycle before finally we break out of that descending resistance right here. And what happens when that happens? We have a massive volume breakout. Now keep in mind, guys, even though the volume isn't greater than the previous cycle high volume, it's still a significant amount of volume that leads me to believe that there's a lot of new money still entering this market. And so even if it's not drastically over proportionate compared to the last cycle high, it's still a good enough number that I'm more than confident in this cycle playing out. Now, from that point, we've had a significant influx of volume. This is a lot more average volume than we saw at the cycle high. Because, I mean, if we drop this to a monthly time frame, we're going to see that the highest green volume that we ever had came at the cycle high, but this breakout actually saw more green volume. In fact, the sell volume was really the majority of the volume that we saw at the cycle high. And this could have easily been XRP dumping, because that's exactly what they do. That's really the idea of XRP tokens, is to kind of reinvest the profits back into their ecosystem to grow and to really just grow the XRP economy. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that's why we saw so much sell volume at the top, was really the founders taking profits, and that's what sent us into this bear market. But the fact is, guys, we still have more green volume coming in at this breakout and retest of this support than we have in the whole cycle high. And so that is a reason for me being so bullish in this time. I still expect us to have a pretty sizable hype cycle moving forward. But with that being said, guys, I want to point you guys to one last really comparison that I want to share with you guys. Now, this to me is a really important thing to be watching out for. Now, let's drop it to a monthly time frame and let's actually take a look at our monthly resistance levels. This is about our monthly resistance, right about here at just under 30 cents, about 29 cents, we have our monthly resistance. Now, I want to point you guys to this because it's really important to understand. Now, based off of price action alone, with this break of descending resistance indicated by the black line, we had one more leg down, and this leg down actually brought us below monthly support. And so this is now getting rejected as resistance, we can see here. Now, this was previously the resistance of the 2017 cycle. We held support of that. We sold through that with this retrace right here, and now we're rejecting underneath that as resistance. And so that, to me, guys, leads me to believe that we still could be potentially bearish on the short term. Now, that doesn't change the fact that I'm still bullish long term, and I expect us to break all-time highs and go to my next 3 price targets. But as of right now, based off price action, it appears that we're trending below that monthly resistance, or what I should say support, and it's now acting as resistance. So with that being said, guys, I'm kind of watching out for a scenario to play out. And this scenario would take us for one more little leg back down. And really my target's going to be about 20 cents for that, because it reminds me of the same fractal that we saw back in the early days. Now, after the breakout, we sold and we chopped around this specific area for a while. This was a real choppy area. We had lots of wicks, we had lots of price swings going up and down before we eventually sold off for one more leg down, and then we went into our next impulse. And I very easily could see us being at that same position right here, because this is really choppy. We had a sell through support, rejected off that, sold for another leg down, went back up and retested that resistance, and now we're selling off again. And so I think that this choppiness that we're seeing right now could very easily be the same choppiness that we saw back in the early day before we had one more short-term stab down. So realistically, let's kind of take a look at what I think we could see. Now, realistically, I think we could see a drop back down to about 20 cents before that really creates our spring-loaded effect, right? And that spring-loaded effect should be enough that we need as a catalyst to really send us into that next cycle. Because this next impulse, whenever we do find this bottom, the last sell-off, I expect this to be the last sell-off in this cycle. And so whenever we do find support of this cycle, I expect this impulse to happen pretty quick. And it would be more likely than not that we hit straight to that 50-cent mark, or at least about 40 cents in that first impulse, right? Because we have to reclaim this resistance. This is monthly resistance at this point. It was support. And if we can reclaim that, it's going to have to be a pretty sizable return. It's going to have to be a pretty sizable impulse to do that. And so this is kind of what I would be expecting to see moving forward with Ripple. Overall, things are still looking excellent. I'm still a buyer in this time. I'm going to personally be continuing to buy XRP because this is one of the best risk-to-reward ratio setups that you're going to find amongst the altcoins, specifically the high-cap altcoins. And so this is how I'm going to be structuring my trading plan. You guys know what I'm rocking with XRP moving forward. Now let's dive into Cardano. All right, guys, here we are taking a look at Cardano. Now, my biggest reason for being bullish on Cardano is the fact that we had such a profitable cycle, and we ended up actually selling off from that cycle about 98% approximately. Around 98% from all-time high down to the low of the market cycle bottom. Now, that is really interesting to me, guys, because this coin pretty much hung around that top 10 mark, top 15, throughout the entirety of the impulse and bear market back down. There was a lot of top 10 altcoins that actually retraced out of the top 10, and they're now within the top 50 and top 100. And this is the one that actually stayed the course. And so for that, I think that this one has a lot of potential moving forward, especially a lot of profit potential. As long as we play out like we have in times past and we go in for another market cycle, this one's probably going to be one of the best risk-to-reward ratio setups that you're going to find amongst the altcoins. Now, with this one, kind of what I'm watching out for is I do see the potential for a double bottom formation forming, and this would be a reversal pattern. Now, a double bottom formation is when you make a stab at a low, we bounce from that, find short-term resistance, and then we go back down to retest that same low. And we don't break through that, we hold support, and then we actually go up in the cycle. Now, to see a confirmed double bottom formation play out, we have to break the resistance of the neckline. Now, the resistance is going to be right here at about 10 cents is where we're going to find our first resistance. And if we can clear above that, then that's actually going to be a confirmed trend reversal. And this would actually lead us into new price discovery of the new cycle. Now, what do I mean by a double bottom formation? Well, technically you can have a double top, and this is where price short-term comes down, retests the top, and then sells through that, and that's a reversal pattern. But the double bottom formation is actually a little bit longer. Now, we can see a prime example of this back in the early days of Ethereum Classic. And I remember actually trading this double bottom formation because I was watching it play out. I remember seeing Bitcoin do its double bottom and play out, and then it broke all-time highs, and I was watching this same setup play out in the altcoins, and I thought, wow, this looks just like Bitcoin. I think that this cycle is going to be very profitable, and I actually bought some right about here. And then what happened was we went into our new cycle. And this is why I wanted to point out Cardano today, is because it looks like we're doing the same sort of setup. We had a bottom here, we came up, found short-term resistance, and then we came back down to retest that bottom. We didn't sell through support, and then we ended up breaking out of that neckline. So that was a confirmed trend reversal, right? And then what happens? We go into new price discovery. And so I wanted to point this out because this looks to me like Cardano is playing out very similarly to that same setup. Now, with that same setup playing out, I mean, if you bought today, remember this is just my own analysis, it's not financial advice. If you bought today and held to the all-time high, that would be about 29x. So you'd make about a 29x return just by holding to the all-time high. But this is a reversal pattern, meaning it's going to break all-time high and go into new price discovery. I don't know exactly how high, because when price discovery happens, there's really no way of knowing how high it's going to go. But what I can say is a 30x to all-time high if you bought today is not a bad investment. That's a very excellent buy. And so for me, guys, I'm going to be looking to actually accumulate more Cardano in this time. Now, my last update that I had talking about Cardano, me buying it anyways, was right here. I made a video back in, would have been January. I made a video, so I actually made the video in February, so it would have been right about here. So I made the video in February talking about Cardano being one that I was investing in, and that was actually a really good setup because I made a little bit of profit on the way up. But this, remember guys, is my long-term bags. So even though I made 140% on the way up, I didn't sell anything because I'm holding throughout the majority of this cycle because I expect this thing to break all-time highs. And so for that reason, I'm not going to be selling it in this choppy action clear back down here in accumulation. I still consider this accumulation. And 2 years from now, even if you bought the top of this resistance, this is still going to be nothing on the grand scheme of things. And so this is why I'm bullish on Cardano. I've actually accumulated some back in February. We're actually back at my original entry, so I'm going to be looking to add some more. I actually had a little bit more income come in, so I figured that it would be a good time to kind of unload a little bit on these markets because I think that there's a lot of profit potential moving forward. So this is Cardano, guys. I want to talk about this one. This is the last altcoin on the list. These were 3 altcoins that were recommended to me inside of the Discord server. So if you're new and just watching this video or you want to join an awesome community, make sure you click the invitation link in the description and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. If you guys have any coins that you want me to analyze, make sure you message me on Discord, comment on Discord, or even comment in the description of this video. That was going to help me to know exactly which coins to cover because I really like to provide the most value for you guys. I think that I'm going to start implementing live streams, and then that's going to be where I use that time to actually analyze altcoins and ask questions for you guys. So if you guys want to see live streams from me down the future, leave a comment and let me know. It's your feedback that is going to help me to grow and really just advance this channel to where I expect it to be. And so any constructive criticism you guys might have is warranted. Really, the only constructive criticism I had in the last couple days was somebody telling me to cut my hair. But if you guys could do it around trading, that would be much more appreciated. I'm not going to cut my hair quite yet. Just kidding, guys. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been an honor to really just chart these altcoins. These were 3 altcoins I'm excited for moving forward, so I figured today would be a great opportunity to share them with you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new and just finding this. I want to grow this channel to 1,000 subs, and we're almost there, so keep smashing that subscribe button, keep smashing the like button, and let's get this thing where I think it can be. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.